Morning, everyone. It's Bob the Green Man from Chautauqua, Mesa, Arizona, Zone 10A. And today, we are going to talk about whitewashing our trees. So we have a product here. This is Arizona's Best Tree White Trunk. And you can get this in a couple of different colors. You can get white, light brown, and I think dark brown. But you get this from Lowe's or Home Depot, Ace Hardware. And here's our instructions. You know, we just want the bark to be surface, loose of chalk from previous paint. And so what happens with this stuff is it goes on, but as water hits it, as we see like right here, it breaks off. And it also shows how the tree is grown, which is why I like to do it. Let's take a look at this apricot here. Look how much that grew. That is awesome. So, I don't do every tree. I do our citrus. And I do citrus every other year. So, this year, that citrus is probably going to be good. Just because we have all these other trees that will help shade this in the afternoon. The main goal of the whitewashing for citrus is to block the sun in the afternoon. Now, if you grow a citrus tree like it's naturally going to grow, which is like a giant bush, then you don't have to do this. This is only for trees that have their trunks exposed, like this jackfruit. Okay, this jackfruit, we did a video on this. We planted this back in December. No issue over the winter. But now it is time to protect this jackfruit. And what we're going to do is we're going to whitewash this guy. And first we're going to move all of our mulch away from the tree, and I'm going to expose its root flare, which is right there. There's some more. Okay, now what we are going to do is I'm going to go off camera and open this guy up, and I'll be right back. Perfect. I forgot to hit record. All right, I painted two of the trees. Here's the jackfruit. We painted this. Looks good. Now you see the paint on the ground there. This paint is non-toxic. So it is okay if it gets on the ground. Amberella, we've painted it again. This is what our paint looks like. So it looks more like paint. Let me dip our brush here. As we can see, after we shook it up real good. This dries pretty quickly. So since I didn't have the camera recorded, we'll record doing the apricot here. This over. And there's no right or wrong way how to do this. You don't have to go all the way to the ground if you don't want to. You just dip your paint brush and give yourself a nice coat. Now, I was saying before I realized that I wasn't recording that The first time I did this about 10 years ago, I was doing our citrus trees. And the mixture was real watery. And I had to put a few coats on. And the following year, when I had less paint in the jug, I shook it up before, then we stirred it, and it went on a lot easier. And that's the key. You gotta remember to give it a real good shake. And stir it up really well so that it actually resembles paint. Now, if you go to the store, you want to make sure that you get this trunk paint. Do not use house paint. Okay? House paint is designed not to come off. This, however, is designed to come off. All right, first things first, we've got this Marcus pumpkin avocado, which is flowering. We've got open flowers here. I posted a video earlier about the flowering trees here, and this guy right here was open. Now we've got another flower over here open. We've got a flower right here that's open. So now with avocados, this is for the Phoenix Valley, okay? Because we are so hot, you're gonna wanna do this. Now, I grew avocados when I lived in California 16, 17 years ago, and you don't have to do this. But I have found that what I'm about to show you will help in preventing sunburn. This green skin on the trunk will sunburn after just one day. One day where you don't water or have shade will sunburn the trunk. Okay? We can see the starts of it here a little bit. I don't know if you can see how it goes from green to a little yellow. So it was actually 90 degrees yesterday, and it's going to be 100 here in 2 days. So I have to get a shade cloth up. And now this is just for young avocados. Now, if you have an avocado that's 8 feet tall and has bark, actual bark everywhere, you don't have to do this. This is just my way of protecting my trees. Now, I'm going to be real careful with this. I don't really want to get this on the leaves, because what that does is that won't allow them to photosynthesize. And I might have to get a smaller paintbrush to do this. But basically what we're going to do is we are going to go over this whole thing and whitewash it. Now, if you get a little bit on the leaves, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Now, if you get it on every leaf, that might be an issue. But a couple leaves is not going to hurt. I would recommend, though, getting a smaller paintbrush just to make this easier on a younger tree. If you had a bigger tree, you'd be okay with the brush the size that I have. Now, all I'm doing is going right in between each of these areas. Now, you see where we have our leaves. Those leaves, their job, like I said before, is to protect the trunk. Okay, so you don't have to go all the way up. Now, if this area right here did not have leaves, absolutely, I would be going all the way up. Just like this area here does not have leaves, we are painting it. So I'm gonna finish this off camera and then we'll come back and take a look at the final. All right, so here we go. This is what I have done with the Marcus pumpkin and the Russell over here. As we see, this one is a little bit more compact and there is more area where there are leaves, okay? So right here, if you notice, I did not do any painting. Let me get out of the sun there a little bit. You can see that the leaves shade the tree. So I did not put any paint on that area, as opposed to Marcus pumpkin, which is a bit more laggy. As we see, a good indicator is to do this in the morning for the east side of the tree, so you'll get an idea what is shaded. Now, this part is shaded, but I put paint on it because of the west side. If we come over here and take a look from the west side, everything is whited out nicely. Now, avocados, when they're young, up until basically 8 feet tall, 6 to 8 feet tall, I would let them grow however you want. Obviously, these were from the nursery, grown this way. But if an avocado is going to put out a branch, you know, near the graft or even below the graft, I would let it go. Mark it so that you know that that is rootstock, and you can cut it out at a later time. If it's going to grow down there and help protect itself, absolutely let it be. Other trees that I like to paint are shade trees. This is a jacaranda, and this is semi-native to Arizona. Okay, another thing that this tree paint is good for is covering up cuts. So we had a cut here, cut there, and cut right there. So by covering these cuts, they won't get sunburned and they will heal properly. So let's take a look at this jacaranda from the street, and that looks really good. Anyways, guys, that's the video for today. I hope you found it informative as to what the white stuff on the trees is you see throughout the valley and other places throughout the world. Again, I like doing this. I think it looks good, and I want to protect my investment. Until next time, everybody, hope you have a wonderful day. And I'll leave you with a couple of really nice looking Ruby Supreme guavas. Have a great day, guys.